What's going on, guys? Welcome back to part 12 of building a Netflix app from scratch using Swift 5 in UIKit. In this part, we're just going to create the title preview controller, so without further ado, let's just dive in. So let me just fire up Xcode over here, and basically I'm just going to create a new file, and that is going to be a new controller. So let me just make sure that I'm choosing Swift, and for the name, I'm just going to say like something like title preview view controller, and let me just hit next. Alright, so basically this is going to be the controller in which we are going to pass in the video and be able to view the video actually. So basically I'm just going to import something over here, so let me just type import WebKit, and over here I'm just going to initialize one more view, so basically private let web view, and that is going to be WK web view. All right, and let me just initialize that. All right, so basically this is going to be the view in which we are going to view the video for the trailer. And right here, let me just define a new label title. So private let title label, and that is going to be UI label. Let me initialize that with the anonymous closure pattern. So let label, that is going to be UI label. I'm just going to return the label over here, and I just need to enable the auto layout. So basically translate auto resizing mask into constraints, that is going to be equals to false. All right, and for the font, I'm just going to say let label dot font, and that it's going to be system font of size maybe 22, and for the weight I'm just going to choose bold. All right, let me just initialize one more view. Okay, so private let overview label, and that is going to be label as well. Same pattern over here, so let label, that is going to be UI label, and I'm just going to return the label one more time. Basically we're just doing the same stuff over here, so let label font, and that is going to be maybe something like 18. So system weight, wait just a second, so system font, that is going to be 18, and for the overview I'm just going to say regular, and I'm going to enable the auto layout as well. Just a second over here, and maybe since the label could take multiple lines, I'm just going to say let label dot number of lines, that is going to be equal to 0. And basically when you set the number of lines in Swift to 0, that means that it can actually take multiple lines. That's not going to be constrained for just 1 or 2 lines. All right, so maybe I can have like something like a download button. So private let download button, and that is going to be UI button. Let me initialize that, so let button, that is going to be UI button. Button dot translate auto resizing constraints false. Let me just return that button, and over here I can set the background for the button, maybe for something like a red color. All right, and button dot set title, that is going to say download for normal. All right, and button dot set title color, and that is going to be white also for normal. All right, so basically we just need to add those views into our controller. So view dot add subview, I just need to add the web view. View dot add subview, maybe the title. View dot add subview overview label, and view dot add subview, that is going to be the download button. And over here I just need to configure constraints. All right, and let me create that function down here, and that is going to be a function. All right, so first of all I just need to set the web view. So let me say something like let web view constraints, and that is going to be an array, and that array is going to take some constraints actually. So web view dot top anchor, and that is going to be constrained with the view top anchor. All right, so web view dot leading anchor that constrains to the view dot leading anchor as well. Web view, all right, dot trailing anchor, that is going to be also constrained with the view trailing anchor. And for the height, all right, so height anchor, that is going to be somewhere around maybe 250, or maybe we can just assume that the UIKit is just going to calculate its height for now. All right, so let me just type ns layout constraints to activate, and let me pass the web view constraints. All right, so over here, let me just constrain the title as well. So let title constraints or title label constraints, and that is going to be an array as well. So title label dot top anchor. I'm just going to constrain that maybe to the web view dot bottom anchor, and that is going to be spaced by maybe 20 points. All right, so title label dot leading anchor that constrains, and that is going to be constrained with the view leading anchor, and maybe 20 points from the left as well. So I believe that is enough for displaying the title label. So ns layout constraints activate title label constraints. All right, and also we need some title or some title constraints for the overview as well. So let overview label constraints, and that is going to be an array. So overview label dot top anchor, and that is going to be constrained with the title label dot bottom anchor, 20 points or maybe 15. Overview label dot leading anchor constraints, and that is going to be equals to the view dot leading anchor, and maybe add some margin on the left, so constant, that is going to be 20 as well, so that we have them aligned. And I believe that's it for the overview. So same stuff over here, same stuff over and over, and I believe that's it. So let me just go and add some dummy text over here. So for the label, I'm just going to give that a text, maybe Harry Potter. And also for the overview label, maybe something like label text, and this is the best movie ever to watch as a kid. And trust me, that is true. Alright, so basically we have a web view constraints, we have title label, we have overview, and you can just play around with this. Maybe you can add the rating or the votes, number of votes. Basically you can just utilize the information that we got earlier from the movie database over here. But for the sake of simplicity, I'm just going to create a new view model over here. Alright, so let me just create a new Swift file. Alright, let me call that title preview view model, and inside that I'm just going to create a new struct. Let me just call that title. Alright, so title preview view model, and inside of here I just need the title, and that is going to be a string. I need the YouTube video, so let YouTube video, and that is going to be maybe video element. Alright, and for the title overview, alright, so that is going to be a string. So what do I need to do right now? So let me just see if everything is working for the title preview controller. So over here inside the home view controller, I can just navigate to this controller. So navigation controller dot push, and inside that I'm just going to pass in the title preview controller, and for the animation I'm just going to say true. And let me build and run this, and let me see what do I get so far. Alright, and as you can see here, Harry Potter is at the top. Maybe we forgot to add some constraints over here, so let me just go back to the title preview controller, and believe something is wrong over here, which is basically the web view. The web view doesn't have actually the auto layout enabled, so I believe I can do something about that. So let me just define that with the anonymous closure pattern over here, and over here I'm just going to say let web view, and that is going to be wk web view, and inside of here I can just say web view dot translate auto resizing masked, and that is going to be equals to false. And let me just return the web view over here one more time. Let me build and run, and let me see if that is working. And it's not working yet, so I believe we have to add some sort of height. So let me just say web view dot height anchor, and that is going to be equals to maybe somewhere like 250. Let me build and run. As you can see here, we have the web view and the title, and everything is working over here. Maybe we can just add a constant over here for the top margin. I can set that maybe somewhere around 50. Let me build and run one more time. And over here, this is going to be the web view that we're going to pass in the video URL. We just need to set the download button. We forgot that as well. So let download button constraints, and that is going to be an array over here. So download button, and that is going to be at the center of the controller. So center X, and that is going to constrain with the view dot center X. And for that, I'm just going to add maybe a top margin between the button and the overview, maybe around 15 points. So let's just top anchor constraints, and that is going to be constrained with the overview label dot bottom anchor, and let me just add maybe somewhere like 20 points. Let me see if that is working correctly. Yeah, we forgot to activate the constraints as well. So ns layout constraints. Alright, so activate download button constraints, and let me hit build and run, and let me see what do I get. And as you can see here, basically the download button, it's over here, it's working fine. Alright, so what do we need to do right now? Basically, I just need to set the background color of the view. So background color, and that is going to be system background. Let me hit build and run. Alright, so we have everything's working over here. I can just modify the download button to look a little bit nicer. So button. Alright, so I can do that over here basically. So download button dot width anchor, and that is going to be equal somewhere around 120. Alright, so yeah, basically we just need a separator over here. So yeah, that looks so much better. Maybe 140, that will look much nicer. And for the height as well, we can just set that. Alright, so height anchor, that is going to be somewhere around 80. Alright, let me see if that is looking good. So too much, we can just play around with the values of the height over here until you're satisfied with something. Okay, actually realized something. Maybe the overview is just going to take multiple lines, so that doesn't have to be yeah, that's working fine. Okay, basically because we are just constraining the top anchor of the button to be below the overview label with 25 whatsoever, and that is going to be only centered horizontally. So over here, maybe we can add something to the download button. So button.layer.corner radius, and that is going to be equals to 15. Button.layer.clips to bounce, or mask to bounce. Yeah, that is going to be true as well. So let me just hit build and run. All right, maybe we can change that to 8, but you get the idea. We're gonna move into something else right now. Basically, I just need to pass in the information over here, but basically we just need to configure the controller before we initialize it. So let me just go back down in here, and I can create a new function that is going to be called configure with model, and that is going to take a title preview view model, and over here I'm just going to set the title label dot text, and that is going to be model dot title. All right, so the overview label dot text is going to be model dot title overview, and over here I'm just going to create a new URL. So guard let URL is going to be URL with string, and inside of here let me just type https://www.youtube.com/embed. Right, and over here I'm just going to pass in the URL that we get. So model dot YouTube video. All right, so ID dot video ID, and then else I'm just going to return. So right now I have the URL, so I'm just going to use that to load inside the web view. So web view dot load, and that is going to take a URL request with the URL that we have over here. All right, so basically that's it. So let's just go to the collection table view cell, and over here I'm just going to create a new protocol. So protocol, I'm just going to name that collection view table view cell delegate, and that is going to be a type of any object. Inside that I'm just going to create a new function, and basically that function is going to be called collection view table view cell did tab cell. All right, and that is going to take an object type basically of all right, so cell, and that is going to be of a type this, and also a model or view model to be exact, and that is going to be title preview view model. All right, and over here I'm just going to create a private, or sorry, that is going to be a weak var of delegate, and that is going to be of this type, and also it's going to be optional. All right, so over here I'm just going to get down to this function over here, did select item, and once I have basically the video element over here, basically I'm just going to say delegate dot all right self, and inside here I'm just going to create that view model. All right, so let me just copy that over here. Let me just take that out, maybe to be easier to see. All right, so let me just do that over here. So let view model. All right, so that is going to be of type here I'm just going to pass in the string for the title. So that is going to be titles. All right, index path dot row, and over here I'm just going to pass in the original title, or basically the original row. And for the simplicity, I'm just going to get the title over here. So titles index.path.row, and over here I'm just going to change that basically to title. So title.original title, or the title. Oh, basically I have the title name actually, so that is gonna be much easier. All right, and also over here I have to provide the video element. All right, so let me just pass in the video element over here, and also here I'm just going to get the title. All right, so title dot overview, and I believe that is okay. And just we need to reference that using self, and since we're just going to use that inside an or basically asynchronous function, I'm just going to say weak self, and over here let me say self dot, and don't forget the question mark over here. So let me just maybe guard that or force wrap that. All right, over here let me just pass in the overview, but that needs to be unwrapped first. So let title overview, and that is going to be title. All right, so let me just guard that out. So guard let title overview dot title dot overview else return. All right, so let me pass the title overview over here. All right, I believe that is correct. So basically, yeah, that is correct from now. And over here, I'm just going to pass in the view model that we have created over here. And here, I'm just going to pass in self, but I need to guard that first out. So guard let strong self, that is going to be equals to self, else return. And basically self is over here as an optional. So let me just pass in the strong self over here, and let me hit build and run, and let me see what do I get. So all right, so basically we just need to add an optional self over here, and let me build and run this, and let me see. Yeah, basically we don't have any errors right now. So let me just go to the home view controller. I'm just going to create a new extension for that controller, and that is going to conform to our protocol that we've just created earlier, which is collection view table view cell delegate. And over here I'm just going to implement that function. So basically we're going to have the title preview view model over here. So let me just say let vc, that is going to be a title preview view controller. And over here I'm just going to configure that with the view model that we have from here. So view model, and now I'm just gonna say navigation controller dot push, and that is going to be equals to vc, and I'm just going to set the animation for true. Let me just go up in here, and let me just take that out, which is basically this line over here. We don't need this anymore. We have everything set up over here now. So let me just build and run this, and let me see what do I get so far. So I'm pretty sure that is going to work. I doubt it, but let's just try. So let's just click on the Ghostbuster over here, and let me see what do I get. Basically nothing, and that is because we forgot to set our delegate to be this controller. So basically I'm just going to get down over here, and before I do this, so let me just say vc.delegate, and that is going to be self. And over here let me just go and make the all right, so the delegate is going to be in the collection view cell over here. So I'm just going to need to access this. All right, so let me just go to yeah, let's just go to the table view cell, I believe. So home view controller, and let me just scroll up button here. All right, so table view cell. All right, so let me have this. So cell for row. Okay, so let me just cell delegate, and that is going to be equals to self. All right, so let me just hit build and run one more time, and I hope that is going to be working. So yeah, basically just delete this. That doesn't make any sense. So let me hit build and run, and I believe that is going to work. So Ghostbusters, and we have an error over here. All right, so basically this is the error that we have over here, and we can fix that really quick. So let me just say dispatch queue.main.async, and over here I'm just going to have those lines cut and paste it over here. I believe that's it, and that is going to work. So let's just cross our fingers, and basically I just need to have reference for this, so weak self, and I'm just going to add this over here, so self optional, and yeah, basically I just need to say in. All right, so let me just build and run. Let me see if that is working. So Ghostbusters, and you can see here basically the name of the movie, the overview, and we can just press on that. Let me just see if that is working, and indeed that is actually working. So basically we just need to fix the overview title constraints over here, and actually it's pretty easy to fix. So we just need to go to the title preview controller over here, and basically there is one constraint that we forgot to add, which is basically the trailing anchor for the overview text. So overview label dot trailing anchor, and that is going to be constrained with the view dot trailing anchor over here. Let me just hit build and run one more time, and let me see if I have the title overview is constrained in its place. So let me just hit Ghostbusters, and as you can see here, basically everything seems to be working fine. Maybe you can just add a little bit extra height for this. I believe it would look so much better. So maybe 300. Let me hit build on one more time, and let me see what do I get as a final results. And yes, indeed I am so satisfied with the results for now. So that's it for this tutorial. So if you like this video, please hit that like button and consider subscribing to my channel. That would definitely mean a lot to me. So once again, have a good day and stay safe.